boys and girls, are you ready to start your first art project? Yeah! No, I'm just kidding.
It's Miss Wardley. This is my Andy Warhol doll. He's the artist of the month, and he invented a type of art called pop art. Our first art project is actually going to be a drawing of a flower, but we're going to be studying the elements of art. These are the elements of art: line, shape, form, texture, space, color, and value. What we're going to be drawing is going to look realistic, and I have an example of what the flower looks like. It's called a Forsythia flower. We're going to be drawing them on a white piece of paper. So once everyone gets their white piece of paper, and we keep paper, I keep paper right over here. What's a dustpan doing here? Dustpans go over here next to the sink. What else do we keep next to the sink? Oh, we keep sponges for cleaning off the table. We have soap, but we only want to use 1 drop of soap. We have a recycling bin right under here, but we don't like to waste paper, so make sure you try your best not to waste paper. We have towels, because after we wash the table, we want to dry off the table. And of course we have cups of water for painting. Whenever we're painting, I like to get a half a cup of water, and I fill it up halfway right here. And I think we will get to paint our first picture. We also keep in this drawer paintbrushes, and here's Mr. Paintbrush.
Hello, boys and girls. Do you want to meet my family? Here they are, right over here. Here's my family. And
is a piece of paper. This is a white piece of paper. It's about 9 by 12 inches. And when we go over to the tables, we want to make sure we turn our paper so that it's nice and tall. This is called vertical. In the baskets, we have pencils. If you don't have a sharp pencil, raise your hand and Miss W will help you get a sharp one. Now, once we get our paper, the first thing we're going to do is draw a really tall vertical line. And we want it to look like the stem on the Forsythia. So our line is going to start at the bottom of the paper. Here's the bottom. And it's going to go all the way up to the top. But we don't want it to be a straight line. We want it to be kind of wavy, because this is supposed to look like a stem. So I'm going to start down here, and my line is going to go all the way up. And I'm making it kind of wavy and curvy. And it goes straight up. Now I'm going to make another line, and it's going to overlap, which means my next line is going to go over the other one. So I'm going to start over here in the middle. It's going to be another wavy line. It's going to cross it and go all the way up to the top. Now I have room for at least 1 or more lines. So I'm going to draw another line that's just going to be wavy, and it's going to go straight up. Once you've drawn your lines, you're ready for the second element of art called shape. We're going to be using the shape of a circle, and these circles are going to be the middle of the flower. So I'm drawing small circles, and I'm adding at least 3 circles to each stem. Once I've added the circles, then I'm going to draw 3 little curved petals. These are the flower petals. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now it's starting to look like a flower. Once I have finished drawing all of my flower petals, then I'm ready to add color. The stems are usually green, but I'm going to use crayons, and I'm actually going to color the stems brown. Now I can add some little green leaves. Let me see if I see brown. Ooh, there's brown. Now I always say color dark so you can make your mark. So I'm coloring these stems really nice and dark, and I'm coloring it really neatly too. Once I have colored all of the stems brown, then I'm going to color the inside of the flower with orange, because when I look at the flower, it looks like the middle of it's orange. So I'm going to color all my circles orange, really nice and neatly. And then I'm going to add yellow for the flower petals. So now I'm going to find the yellow crayon. Doesn't look like I have a yellow in here. Maybe the other table has one I can borrow. Notice I didn't say we're using marker. We're using crayon and we're coloring it really nice and dark. Once you have all of your flower petals colored yellow, if you want to add some green leaves, usually flowers have leaves, but they should be small. You can add some green leaves if you want. But then we are ready to paint. Now we won't be painting today, but we will be putting our name and code on our paper. And I put my name on the front, J-A-M-I-E, really nice and neatly at the bottom. And I put my code. Your code is your teacher's first name. So if it's Miss Stewart, you put an S. And if you're in kindergarten, you put a K. And then we take our paper. Now, once you are finished coloring in the stems, the flowers, and everything with crayon, then we're going to be painting the space around the flowers using watercolor paint. We're going to use blue and green for the sky and for the grass. So that's going to be the background or the negative space. We keep the paintbrushes and the paints next to the sink. So you are going to need a half a cup of water, a medium-sized paintbrush, and we are using liquid watercolor paints. I'm going to put some blue in this small cup and some green in this cup. Liquid watercolor paints are, now I have my blue and my yellow watercolor paint. Whenever I'm painting, I also use, in this drawer right here, a piece of newspaper. Look, it already has paint on it. That's okay. Newspaper will protect the table because we want to be painting the whole background space. So right here, I'm going to lay out the newspaper. I'm going to lay down my piece of paper, and then I'm going to get my blue and yellow watercolor paint, and I'm going to start with the sky first. So I'm going to start with blue at the top. I'm going to dip my paintbrush in a little bit of blue, and the really cool thing, it's like magic, the blue you can paint right over top of the crayon, and because the crayon is made out of wax, it's waterproof, and this is watercolor paint. So now I'm just going to add a little bit of water to my paintbrush, and I'm going to paint all the sky blue. And you can see it's kind of getting lighter. I'm going to add some more dark blue. And the more water you have, the lighter it is. So you can see how it's lighter at the top. That's because I use more water. So if I use more water, it's lighter. If I use less water, if I dip it right out of here, it's going to be really dark. So parts of the sky are going to be dark, maybe around the edges, and parts are going to be really light, which is kind of cool. Now, I'm not going to wash out my paintbrush. I'm just going to dip my paintbrush in the yellow, and I'm going to paint the bottom. Oh, it looks yellow. I need a little bit of blue. So now I'm going to dip it in, mix it, and look what color. It should be turning green, hopefully. So if I take a little bit of the yellow, mix it with a little bit of the blue, there we go, it's turning green. And I'm going to paint across the bottom with green. We want to fill in the whole space with color. So the grass is at the bottom, and this line in the middle is called the horizon line. Once you're finished filling in all the white space on your paper, then we carry these very carefully over to the drying rack, and we let them dry. And I can't wait to see how amazing they're going to look. Have fun!